I'm not sure. Last week was just a debacle. It just was a debacle, period. And we didn't rise up like we should have. And maybe we don't have that talented of a football team to rise up and do what people expect. We do have a few injuries here and there, but bottom line is next man up. And right now, I feel like some of our players, whether it be on the offensive side or even on the defensive front, we could be playing with some, what I would call back in the day, plan B and plan C guys.
Woo, man. Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith called some of the Cowboys players right now plan B and plan C guys. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, this is exactly the same thing that all of us have been saying all offseason. Now, granted, I've tried to find the silver linings and signings just in the fact that they at least plugged some holes. They put Band-Aids over them. But ladies and gentlemen, them Band-Aids are getting washed off like someone jumping into a hot shower. Them bad boys are gone. Jordan Phillips is not working. Linval Joseph has just been there. Mozzie Smith, I'm over the Mozzie Smith experience. He's going to have to really show us something over the course of the next few weeks to really earn back my favor. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Emmitt has to be referring to the running backs and the receivers. I think that's exactly what he's referring to as far as plan B and plan C type guys. Now, I have to say, after the first couple of weeks of the season, Jalen Tolbert nor Jalen Brooks, to me, has really solidified themselves as a true wide receiver 3 on this team. And Brandon Cooks, although he did catch a touchdown in week 1, Brandon Cooks still hasn't really shown himself to be the weapon that he really is, whether it's based off of usage or the plays that they're calling or whether Dak is even looking his way. It just, something hasn't worked. And I would have to agree with Emmitt. It seems right now we do have a lot of plan B, plan C type of guys in place. And as of right now, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, especially when you got the owner coming out and blaming the media for the narratives about why Dallas needs another running back. The media didn't create that narrative, Jerry. It's very obvious. We need a true running back. We need a true RB1. Zeke is Zeke right now at this point in his career. We haven't seen Dalvin Cook. Rico doesn't look like he's going to be that guy. The running back room does look like it's missing something. It looks like it's missing some burst. Zeke is a great pass protector. I'm sure there's plenty of things that he adds to this team, but we don't get burst from any of the guys that we have back there right now outside of Deuce. And then it seems like all the carries they've given Deuce, he's had to just fight and scrap just to get out the backfield. So is it another running back according to Jerry? No, that's not what we need. But maybe we need Amari Cooper back. Yeah, so if you haven't heard yet, the Cowboys are one of the teams whose names have been floated around as far as the Amari Cooper trade sweepstakes that's more than likely going to take place this season ahead of the November 5th deadline. The Chiefs, the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Rams are some teams that are looking for wide receiver upgrades before the trade deadline, per ESPN's Dan Graziano. Now, how legitimate is this? I really don't know. We see the Cowboys' name get thrown into these types of rumor, into these types of articles all the time just for the purpose of trying to get more engagement, more clicks on it. So we have to take all these type of things with a grain of salt. But would I want Amari Cooper back on this team? Abso-freaking-lutely. Who wouldn't want Amari Cooper back on this team? This team immediately gets an upgrade adding Amari Cooper to this receiving core. Could you imagine going on Sundays? Forget the running backs. At that point, I would agree with Jerry Jones. Could you imagine going out on Sundays with a wide receiving core consisting of CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Brandon Cooks? Come on, man. That's how we can get some serious stuff done with that, right? Now, until this type of move is made, I don't want to hear nothing else about complimentary football either, though. Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, all y'all, Dak, all y'all can shove the complimentary football talk up y'all bums because your owner just told you he doesn't value the running game in the NFL today. And whether or not you need a workhorse running back or a star running back, that's not relevant. You need a running back that can at least pinch the bit. So I'm just saying, man, you need a running back there that's going to give you some burst. That's a threat that the defense has to account for so that teams can't just drop 7 back into coverage and then just only rush 4 on Dak and still end up being able to cover the play. Because as of right now, that's essentially what's happening. That cover 2 is whooping our butt because right now our only real weapon on offense is CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson, even though Jake Ferguson is hurt right now and he really hasn't just had like a big game yet this season. But CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson is supposed to be our really only true weapons. Bring Amari Cooper to this team, it couldn't hurt. But for real though, until something like this happens, I don't want to hear nothing else about complimentary football, especially after the comments Jerry made. Now, something Cowboys fans may be a little bit concerned about ahead of Sunday's matchup against the Ravens is the fact that the Ravens' offensive line is getting better, and that's not really exactly what we want to hear. It seems like Roger Rosengarten is going to end up being in their starting lineup as their starting right guard or right tackle. I'm not really sure. He's on the right side of their offensive line, but Ravens fans, Ravens media has been clamoring for this guy because apparently he's been better than the guy that's been starting there, right? Which has been their swing tackle, has been their position flex offensive lineman. We as Cowboys fans, we know a lot about that position flex word, right? But the Ravens, they're upgrading their offensive line ahead of the matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. Not necessarily the best news you want to hear, especially given that the Ravens has put together one of the most devastating rushing attacks in the entire NFL so far this season, averaging 168 rush yards per game. So the Cowboys, they're going to have their work cut out for them, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be real. I have no clue how this is going to turn out. I don't know how this is going to go because the Cowboys' biggest weakness, that's been the weakness for the last 5-6 years, is the Ravens' greatest strength. However, the Ravens' biggest weakness, which is passing defense, is the Cowboys' biggest strength right now as well. So hopefully the Cowboys' biggest strength finally finds a rhythm. We're in week 3 now. So now I'm expecting that Cowboys offense to really start to find their sea legs and really get into a rhythm and start to show themselves to be more of an explosive offense like we seen last season, right? There's games this season where the defense, you can't count on them, and this is one of those games. The defensive line is in shambles right now. Emmitt Smith is hot and cold. His back was hurting, but apparently he was a full participant in practice on Friday. But either way, this is one of them games to me that the offense is going to have to show up. This is an opportunity for Dak Prescott to have a signature game. Dak, I'm calling for you to show up right here. I need you to look like that all-pro quarterback that you showed all of us that you are last season. This is one of those games where the offense is going to have to lead the way. Do not let the Baltimore Ravens beat you in a shootout, because this needs to be a shootout, and Baltimore should not be able to beat you in a shootout. And Dak, this is your opportunity to really show who the real MVP is. Either way, let me know down in the comments below, how do y'all feel about the Amari Cooper trade proposal? How do you feel about the comments Emmitt Smith made about the team? And what are you feeling? Do you think the Cowboys are going to lose? Give me your predictions down in the comments below. How about them Cowboys?
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.